Okay, everything's breaking. This is not a good start to this. Okay. Best metal albums of 2023. Now I do this video every year along with best riffs of the year, which also is uploaded now. Go check it out. As well as best breakdowns of the year, which go check out that video as well. And of course, this is the trio, of the trifecto, the trinity, the best albums of the year. Now I got a top 15 and including some EPs as well for a little surprise. But yeah, a lot of really cool albums this year. Why waste time? Let's go! Oh, and of course, be sure to tell me in the comments all the albums I missed that I'm an absolute idiot for missing. I need to know that. Also, just let me know your top 10. It's important. Helps drive the algorithm. Just type algorithm boost. Who cares? Did you know that? Subscribe. I hate myself. Number 15, Johnny Booth, Moments Elsewhere. So this is a band I really only started hearing about this year, and listening to this album, I haven't had as much time to listen to the album like multiple times, or it probably would be higher on the list, but Johnny Booth absolutely slays. It's almost like if Every Time I Die kept dying, but with pounding modern metal. Yeah, it's a great album. It's fun, it's diverse, it's just refreshing. It sounds very modern. Number 14, Veil of My Mother. When it comes to Veil of Maya, we've been waiting a long time. Apparently, they had all these singles like Outsider and the other Viscera and a few others, which were such banger singles, and they ended up scrapping that album and instead making this entire new album. I really like those singles too. Those are some of the best Veil songs ever. But yeah, this album is absolutely great. It has all the Veil twists you want in terms of just gent, spasmic riffs. Mark is such a crazy guitarist, and as well as like the drums are going wild. Lucas's vocals are always shining with the huge choruses, as well as just brutal breakdowns and moments, dissonance everywhere. It sounds like a culmination of all of Veil's albums kind of in one. It's great. Number 13, Cannibal Corpse, Chaos Horrific. Now, you guys know I'm not like a big death metal dude. Like, I always prefer, if we go brutal, like I prefer brutal in terms of groove, heaviness, lower tuning, and dun-dun-does instead of does. But Cannibal Corpse honestly really just tickles my death metal itch if I ever have one, and this album is specifically Chaos Horrific. It has very cool modern sounding production. The riffs are just super sick. They're groovy. There's some faster, of course, death metal traditional thrash moments, which are not as much my thing, but they're good, and they, like I said, satisfy kind of the death metal itch for me. But I just really like the kind of more groovier, gross, almost disgustable moments, especially with like George throwing down those just Cookie Monster vocals the whole time. But the instrumentation, especially on this album, is super sick. Number 12, Dying Wish, Symptoms of Survival. Desperation! Now, this album just brings like a big smile on face, because growing up with 2000s metalcore, this is just basically like a 2000s metalcore worship album. And I mean that in the best way possible, because it just lives in the 5/7/8 world. I feel like it's been kind of forgotten in the metal scene and left behind. Maybe a lot of people are happy about that, but this just screams early 2000s, and it's just such a good nostalgic feeling record that aces that sound perfectly. Number 11, Periphery 5, Gent is Not a Genre. I mean, I've been a fan of Periphery ever since P1. P2 is absolutely goated. One of the most perfect albums ever. Facts! But these boys, you know, they have still such a unique sound in a world that is so cluttered with gent and ambience and atmosphere. Periphery still stands out as just such a good contender in their own unique space within that realm of crazy genty riffs, low tune madness, polymeters, polyrhythms, ambience building, huge choruses with Spencer, and really, really gross heavy moments. And just, yeah, as a guitarist, I love all the guitar moments on this album. It's sick. Only thing is, some songs a little long, but like if you actually listen to this as just like an album experience as you're doing something, or just, you know, actually listening to music, which I don't know if anyone does anymore, it's very cohesive and peaceful. Yeah. Number 10, End, the Sin of Human Frailty. Wow. Unbroken human. I mean, you put Twitter angry legendary man Brandon Murphy in a band with Will Putney, and you make Dumb. It's just filth. It's angry. This is one of the angriest releases of the year, and everything is just pounding. It's like Converge finally converged. Yeah, it's sick. This album is just pissed, and it scratches the itch for sure. Number 9, Nothing Knower, Void Eternal. So why don't you Now, this is probably a bit more of an unexpected pick on my part here, because this is not necessarily like a traditional modern metal or old school metal album. It's very much a new metal mixture with early 2000s emo, post-hardcore that is, Nothing Nowhere, who is like a rap hip-hop kind of guy. But I love the mixture in terms of a lot of bands trying to do this 2000s early sound in that post-hardcore new metal realm. Honestly, this album kind of just aces it, especially like the features we have on this. We have the boys from Underoath, Static Dress. We have Will Ramos randomly, which his song also just goes super hard. But all the riffs are just so fun, very melodic and catchy. The choruses are huge. It's just a groovy, fun, melodic, good time vibe. And it's got really cool heavy moments. So I love this album. Number 8, Currents, The Death We Seek. Currents is a band I've been following for a minute. I mean, Chris Wiseman is the homie. He does Currents, he does Shout of Intent. He's just an absolute monster and tank when it comes to writing music in general. And this new album is no different in terms of seeing what Chris can do when it comes to the instrumentation, when it comes to crazy guitar riffs that are modern, kind of thally, metalcore. It's a very modern metalcore album. And then hearing Brian too go off on this record, I mean, when it comes to the cleans, sure, he really shines. But his screams, he's doing wild deathcore territory things on this album, which is just really cool to see. It's just a very good, perfectly packaged modern metalcore record. Number 7, Sylosis, A Sign of Things to Come. I challenge you to put Josh Middleton in any project and it not be a fun riff happiness moment, okay? Josh absolutely rips it on this entire record, not only on the guitar, because there's so many sick guitar riffs everywhere. As a guitarist, it just makes me happy. They're pounding. They're almost like militant, just doom, 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 doom. They have this aggressive pounding strut to them that just makes you happy. But also Josh, when it comes to his vocals, even hearing a lot more of kind of his pitch screams, his actual singing on this, just added a whole new dimension to Sylosis that is just very exciting. Not that he hasn't done some of that stuff before, but it's just, I feel like this is the most cohesive record where everything just comes together with all the experimentation, and it's still being a very Sylosis riff pumping heavy as record. It's sick. Number 6, In Flames, Foregone. Thank fucking God, In Flames is back. It's been a minute. Look, no disrespect to the previous records. That didn't feel like In Flames. That felt like In Cuddles. Okay, like that's all I'm saying. This record goes more to, again, I'm going to say the roots, and then people are going to be like, what do you mean 2000s isn't the roots? We're talking about Clayman in the 90s. Okay, buddy. Yeah, more of the 2000s roots of In Flames, I would say, when it comes to just the melodic death metal riffage we're hearing with these huge harmonies, huge choruses. When it comes to the instrumentation, really pumping drums on a lot of songs too. But of course, Anders coming in with really intense, brutal screams and just these huge melodic big passages where he's singing. It's just In Flames coming back to being In Flames, to be honest. I'm very happy with this record. Number 5, Silent Planet, Super Blue. Silent Planet leveled up. This is just the biggest level up of the whole year in general goes to Silent Planet. Because, look, Silent Planet has always been great. They've done kind of the poetry core thing for a minute, and it's always good. Garrett's a great vocalist. The instrumentation's always solid, too. But this record really feels like they were like, yo, boys, we got to go to the next level when it comes to every aspect. The vocals are huge. Garrett's singing is just melodic and super catchy, very contagious with the melodies he's throwing out, as well as the instrumentation. It's almost slightly simpler, but at the same time more complex when it comes to the production and the heaviness factor. I mean, Buster working on this record too must have just added a nice oomph to the whole project. That just the team itself they have for this record is insane, and every track is a huge modern metal sounding banger. Great job. Number 4, Cattle Decapitation, Terracite. Now, this is a pick you guys probably didn't think I'd actually have on here because, again, I'm not like a crazy, necessarily death metal dude. However, Cattle Decapitation being a band that I also haven't got much into in the past, listening to these singles and then this record blew my mind. Like hearing the mixture of a very modern sounding produced death metal tech death album with insane riffs everywhere, wild, drumming moments that make me go like, damn, homie definitely runs marathons all day. And the vocals, which were so just diverse and dynamic, like sure, we have these brutal screams from the homie throwing down these lows, and his like kind of goblin-y highs, but hearing him do this pitch scream as well as like pure cleans from him in these moments, especially still like within one single song, they'll have the most extreme, heavy, brutal moments, and then these angelic pitch scream, almost anthemic melodic choruses that just bring a whole dimension to this band that just makes me really excited to delve more into actually death metal tech death. But yeah, this album really made me happy. Absolute ace. Number 3, Invandanimate Heavener. This is perfect modern metalcore. Done. The ambience, the little inflections of thal, the spices, the grooves, the catchiness from the riffs themselves. Every single second of all of these songs matter. They all bring spice. They all have their own hook. You can tell it was perfectly sculpted to be this beautiful listening experience, as singles or as an entire album. And this whole album just rips. If you like modern metalcore, modern metal, listen to this now. It is beautiful. Number 2. What's it gonna be? Is that we're gonna put them at number 2? I'm gonna put them at number 1. Nick's gonna put them at number 1 because he's a little poser core kid. That's what he's gonna do. Maybe he's gonna put it at number 2 to be a little different. Number 2, Sleep Token, Take Me Back to Eden. I mean, I don't think I need to really explain this record. It's been explained enough to all of you. Yeah, Sleep Token kind of won this year. They took over. Album is great. It's beautiful. It has the entire emotional spectrum. Fun. It's modern. It's heavy, but it's chill. It's melodic. It's beautiful. It's a really good record. Probably out of any of the records, this is the one I actually listened to the most, but it's not my number 1. And before we get to number 1, I actually want to shout out a few EPs because this seemed to be like the year of singles and EPs more than actually albums. So of course we have Spirit Box, The Fear of Fear. God tier. They won the Nocturnal Awards with it in a pretty funny way. We also have Nosis, The Eternal Doom. Ryoki Noshita coming back after Crystal Lake with this project, killing it. Only 3 songs, every single one of them is banger. It makes me so happy to see him do experimental metalcore. Number 3, Texas in July, Without Reason. They're back, and they definitely had a reason to be back because these are fucking bangers. Number 4, Heaven's Gate, and I'm gonna have to read this one. And All I Loved Alone. That's a mouthful. Yeah, this record, it kind of is very reminiscent of what like Loathe would do. It's very modern metal. It has like some thal moments. It's pissed. It reminds me a lot of the band actually Lotus Eater, which isn't a band anymore. But it's cool to see them just kind of do their thing and it be this almost shoegaze thal pissed chord project. Great EP. And of course, Brand of Sacrifice, Between Death and Dreams. Brand of Sacrifice, as always, just they're delivering, killing it. Kyle's insanely god tier Demon King vocalist. The instrumentation is also just pumping heavy, sets Kyle up to be a beast, and the production too is wild, alien, WTF. It's heavy, it's good. Now, number 1 best metal album of 2023. What's left? Huh? What's it gonna be? You better catch your breath, because we have Humanity's Last Breath, Ashen. Yep. Honestly, just the fact that there's a genre now called Bustercore and how Buster has, I think, worked, even on a good chunk of the records I mentioned today, funny enough. Him himself is just such a titan and deserves so much praise for what he's been doing for the modern metal scene. But his, golden little child, his golden little baby, Humanity's Last Breath, is no exception when it comes to making an absolute banger. This album is what I think the apocalypse is supposed to sound like. It's hellish It's uncomfortable, but it's so mesmerizing. It's ambient enough that you can almost put it on in the background and just enjoy and it feel like this acid trip experience, or you can sit there and listen and just be like, what the This album shouldn't have come out this year. It feels like it was supposed to come out in 2035. I'm just saying. It's a futuristic album, not in the sense that there's like mechanical noises and machine noises. Just it sounds like it's ahead of what modern metal even is trying to be right now. Absolute God tier record. There you go. Best metal albums of 2023. I look forward to all of you shit talking my picks down below. But more importantly, tell me your favorite picks. Hey, if you're going to at least disagree, at least be like, you know what, Nick, kind friend, internet man, dude, as much as I think your opinion doesn't matter, still thank you for the opinion, and I shall below put my own opinions, which are greater than thou, below. Okay? Just do that. Just do that. Drives the algorithm too. Thanks. Caleb, I don't know, do something funny. Bye.